You really have to lock them up in a room, and they belong to us, and they come out and they understand. And when they go back to their firms, they're ready to really implement the process. Our values are that our customer success is paramount. We pride ourselves that on 4 or 5 one-hour sessions, you can basically, we say, become dangerous. And if we focus on their success, our success will come. The seeds have been planted in Europe and around the world. There's a lot of data being developed. There's a lot of data being developed and being acquired. Point clouds have become a primary geospatial data component. As the market is moving into that level, into that next level where it's an accepted form of geospatial information, the questions are, how do you manage it, how do you assess it, and how do you extract it? And those are the remaining questions around the world. And this is actually what we've been trying to solve for the last 10 years.
Do you find that with a lot of the clients as well as potential customers that come to the stand, that they are being given data and they don't know where it's come from?
Exactly. They've either been given data or they've acquired their own. And interestingly enough, I'd say half of the customers here start to understand the discussion about the process that I just gave you. And so the other half are still saying, I have a big point cloud, I have to get vectors out, I have to get a CAD model. And so they're still in that world where that message of a process is still too far removed, but we tell it to them anyway because we try to get them to understand in the beginning at least where they have to go, how they have to structure their company, how they have to organize around the technology. And that's really important because what point cloud data is disruptive. It's disruptive from the traditional survey workflows. In the traditional survey workflows, you had more people in the street. I mean, it was very labor intensive, and you had less people in the office because the intelligence was extracted on the street. In our case, on the street or on the field, the intelligence was put in. You acquired a point. You said that you gave it a name. You told it where it was. You told it was connected to the next point, and you spent a lot of time doing that. Now you just drive down and take 1,000,000 points a second. You don't know anything about those points really, except that they look like the image. They look like the scene. And then you have to pull them back so basically they're into the office where all the extraction and intelligence is extracted and documented and modeled. And that means your workforce moves from the field to the office. That kind of disruptive change in workflow and process, it has to be actually accepted and promoted from an upper management perspective also.
Now we've got some really cool things coming out. We've got the forum coming out. We've got the certified training coming out.
Certified training, yep.
We're updating the university page on TopoDOT.com.
Everybody asks about training. How do I learn TopoDOT? And that's, it's interesting. You have someone here who just wants to get the lines out. And he really doesn't want to, it's interesting. He doesn't want to hear it's going to take weeks and months. He wants to learn it quickly. We pride ourselves that on 4 or 5 one-hour sessions, you can basically, we say become dangerous, but we say, with TopoDOT, but you can become proficient, you can extract, you can create a model. And obviously it's a lifelong learning process, it just keeps changing and getting better. But what we've offered, and we're actually, for 2019 really, we're getting started, is the TopoDOT management course. And it's a 2-week course, intensive, and we'd like to do it in Orlando. And interestingly enough, it's our long-term customers who are most interested. The initial ones still just want to go to their data and get something out and get paid. I got it. Our long-term customers are starting to realize that they need people in their organization who understand the entire process. And that takes longer. They have to understand basically the characteristics of the data they acquire. They have to understand how that, regardless of where it comes from, they got to understand what that process will go through, how it will be organized, how it will be stored online or in the cloud, and typically cloud storage is where it's going, but how it will be handled, how the quality will be assessed, and then how it will be distributed it to those that are extracting information from it. Once that's done, then they actually, well, there's some other things in the process they have to be aware of, but it's really a 2-week course that we like to take them away from their work. We like to get them away from distractions, because if we travel 1,000 miles and someone just does this for 2 hours a day, it doesn't work. We really have to lock them up in a room, and they belong to us, and they come out and they understand. And when they go back to their firms, they're ready to really implement the process. The forum. The we talk about the community, and that's great. You said community, and I always try to use that, because that's the way I look at. I rarely use customers. I don't like it, because we partner with the TopoDOT community. Our values are that our customer success is paramount, and if we focus on their success, our success will come. Well, that's a partnership, and so we pay attention to their business model. We pay attention to the revenue. We want them to be successful. And that has guided the development of TopoDOT, and what we're doing. What we're doing in the forum now is to basically open up that community, because we are a community, and TopoDOT has a process, TopoDOT has a workflow, TopoDOT has an organization, and it has a family partnership feel between all the customers. It's not just we bought software and there's somebody using it and we don't know who they are. And so that forum is going to bring everyone together. It's a TopoDOT website. And what we're going to do in there is allow basically a conversation to take place. Our customers, we don't have all the answers. Our customers deliver, we know to a certain point how TopoDOT works, but there's always application-driven specifics that aren't in our fieldhouse. I haven't delivered. We never deliver a survey finished product, and we don't know. And so typically, if we do help a customer, we get it to a point where they can take it and organize it. So, and then of course we're not surveyors, so we understand survey, but the acquisition of data and things like that, so they can share that knowledge of the process. But we want to make the forum a place where you can communicate those services and where to go. And also just basically surveying mapping companies and people needing data can go to the forum also and say, all right, who are the surveying mapping companies using TopoDOT? We're using TopoDOT. They'll be in the same workflow. What do they offer? What systems do they have? And because we're asked all the time, do you know anybody served with, who do you like for mobile LiDAR? We like everybody, but if we make them available in the forum, you have a place to go, and you can ask your questions and find your suppliers.
We found that here yesterday, for example. People were asking me, because the European market is new and we're building up on the new clients, the community here, they're asking the same thing. They're like, who's using it here and what they're doing with it, and is any mapping used? So it's really good, and I think that'll help it grow as well, because they feel confident. It's a trust thing as well.
Yeah, we want to teach. We want to, we want to answer your questions. We want you to see real data. We want to see real applications, and we're not afraid of that. But it's kind of an educational place.
Yeah, because we've got sort of a presentation, and then we've got David sitting over here doing the technical stuff. So we've actually got real data for specific projects that we can show people.
Yeah,
which is really good.
And we'll take their own data and show them here. But now, we have our videos to give everybody the process and to see an overview, and then again we go specifics. And I think people appreciate that, and they're impressed when you say, "Oh, my data, everything you showed me now, now you did it with my data." All right, now I believe you.